everybody? Welcome to NUFC Talk TV. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and hit the bell for notifications. We got you the latest trending news in the Newcastle United world. Me and the Mighty Win, of course. So let us know what you think in the comment section down below. This is going to be a spicy subject, I believe, right now. And it doesn't look like, it is. The Newcastle United Supporters Trust. Newcastle United Supporters Trust have sent a letter to the club, to Sarah Metcalf, who is in charge of basically the supporter group in Newcastle United Football Club. And this letter also has been forwarded to Mr. Darren Neals, the CEO of Newcastle United, current CEO. And so they say on their tweet, today we have written to Darren Neals, CEO at NUFC, to ask the club to consider freezing ticket prices for the 25-26 season. And we're going to read you the letter that they sent right now. And you see it on your screen. It's going to be hard for you to read it, so I'm going to try to link this in the description of the video, so you can go back and read it yourself if you can't understand my American accent. But I'm going to read this because I'm trying to zoom in, and it's not letting me really. But I'm going to read it over here. And if you don't, actually, I can send this to you, Mighty One, if you want to. Let me see if we can do it this way. No, it's for some reason it doesn't let me. It doesn't let me do it. Regardless, what is the reasoning behind this? Well, we don't know yet, but we're gonna get to it, right? It says, "Dear Mr. Eels," this is 22nd of January, basically today. That's what it is, via email. And a copy was sent to Sarah Metcalf, who is the head of supporter services for Newcastle United Football Club. Dear Mr. Eels, as Newcastle United fans, we are proud of the progress the club has made on and off the pitch, and we stand behind the team as we look to build a bright future. However, as loyal supporters, we believe it is essential for the club to recognize the financial strain many fans are facing as they continue to support Newcastle United in the current climate. With the expiration of long-term season ticket deals due for many supporters, we are concerned that the club may be contemplating another price increase for the 25-26 season at a time when supporters already feeling the financial strain of the rising cost of living, such an increase would place an even greater burden on those who have been loyal to the club for years. We anticipate that over 10,000 supporters will see their long generated what is it? Their long-term deals. Oh, so I lost my place here. Let me see. Let me start. Such an increase would place an even greater burden on those who have been loyal to the club for years. We anticipate that over 10,000 supporters will see their long-term deals come to an end during the 24-25 season. The additional income generated from these renewals alone should see revenue increase to a level that means increases elsewhere are unnecessary. I will continue reading this, obviously, because it's a bit of a long letter, and I apologize for the mishap there. First of all, what do you think so far in these first two paragraphs, Mighty Win? You're muted, by the way.
It's the 10-year deal that Mike Ashley gave everybody when things were bad, and when supporters left, and he gave out 10,000 half season tickets for free that were gobbled up, and all of those people that were recipients of those, and they've all been listen, they've had 10 years, albeit mostly, 7 years of the 10 years have been absolute dross. And that was exactly why Ashley tied people up to 10-year deals. But this is not dross we're seeing now. And, obviously you have to, my opinion is you've got to pay more. Now, from what's been said in the first two paragraphs there so far, the Supporters Trust are saying that to bring those 10-year deals up to current prices, and it's saying there's 10,000 that are still on the 10-year deals. That alone will bring in, you know, plenty revenue. But if you think about it, it's not really, because the 10-year deals, for example, in the East Stand were £500, and the new price for last season was £900. So they're going up. They're nearly going to double. So that's you're going to get £10,400. How many notes is that? If they say there's 10,000 by 400, so that's four with one, two, three, four, five, six. It's only £4 million it's bringing in
Well, I mean, it's
if
something.
they don't raise prices again. It's an additional four on what
But
they're already taking.
the question is, should they do it? Because they are saying that the club should have enough money to not have to increase the prices.
Well,
Um,
where's this money coming from? We already know that we're struggling to meet
mm,
FFP the way it is. Listen, it's a business. PIF bought into it as a business venture. They know that right now supply or demand exceeds supply. They
exactly.
know right now that if they want to put season ticket prices up to whatever, let's say 1,200 quid instead of 900 quid, they would sell out.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I told you if I
So,
could.
it's called it's market forces, isn't it?
I told you if I could buy a season ticket, I would, and I'm sure I would be criticized for it. But I told you I would designate it 10 times the maximum I'm allowed to transfer, 10 times to local Geordies. I would do that. That they can't get in the game. Now that's not me being a martyr because they still say, well, you still got 9 games, that you're not. I would buy a season ticket if I could get a hold of one. That's a fact.
Yeah.
Now let me keep reading the letter though, so we can because
Yeah.
it's a rather long one. So we continue with the next paragraphs. The Newcastle United Supporters Trust calls on the club to freeze both season tickets and member ticket prices for the next season, particularly in light of the ongoing economic challenges faced by many of our supporters. We ask that the club put the welfare of its fan base first, ensuring that attending matches remains affordable and accessible to all who wish to be a part of the St. James's Park experience. We support the FSA's hashtag Stop Exploiting Loyalty campaign, which calls on football clubs to show greater consideration for their supporters' loyalty and financial well being rather than exploiting it for a short term profit. Football should be about community, about shared experiences, and about fans standing side by side with their team. Not about taking advantage of the unwavering commitment the supporters have shown over decades. As of this date, we are aware that Brentford and Wolves have frozen prices for the next season, whilst Brighton have announced increases. The optics and impact of a club the size of Newcastle United freezing ticket prices next season should not be underestimated. So we read two more paragraphs here. Um, Look, they certainly are trying to touch the heartstrings of the club. I'm a, I'm a, I'm a, I'm a, I'm gonna let you say it because I'm American. I'm an exterior, and if I say things, people will say it because I'm who I am and I live away. So I'm gonna just let you do your piece here.
What exactly does that last sentence actually mean? The optics and impact of a club the size of Newcastle United freezing ticket prices next season should not be underestimated. So, what they are trying to say there is that if Newcastle United, with the relative success that we are currently having, if we decide to freeze prices to help our super loyal fan base, that will have an impact on the rest of the Premier League? Do you honestly believe that? Do you honestly believe that if Newcastle United freeze their season ticket prices, it will prevent Man United, the big
No,
six, the London clubs,
no,
increasing their season ticket prices?
no, it won't.
Because I don't either. So all that will happen then is that we'll get even further behind the big six and the big clubs in terms of being able to compete on the field.
But do you consider um, fans who are having an issue with look? Do you consider fans are having an issue with life? It's the cost of living is high. Well, in my to be honest, I couldn't really speak of it, but being at Newcastle, to me, everything seems cheap, other than going out to fine dining restaurants and then you're knackered. But fairly enough, it seems cheap living in Newcastle. It seems. Now, listen, I don't live there, so I don't have to pay light, gas, and all that. So that's rather irresponsible for me to say that. Um, but do you feel like the tough question, the tough answer could be if you can't afford football?
But listen, and it's tough. It's a tough answer. But the bottom line is going to a football match is a luxury. It's not a privilege. It's not a right. It's a luxury. And when you're in the real world, you go to work, you make your money, and you've got various bills, and then that leaves you with a certain amount of disposable income that you spend on your pleasures.
Hmm.
It's then up to you to decide how you spend that money.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's the does this ultimately mean that super loyal fans who've followed the club for years, who've taken advantage of the 10-year price freeze that Ashley had, what would those fans rather see? Would they rather see another 10 years of Ashley football, or would they rather see Newcastle move ahead
And let's remember,
into a bright trophy winning future?
and let's remember,
And the only way we're going to be able to do that is by competing with all of our peers in the Premiership.
and
And
let's remember,
I don't think for one second that if Newcastle United made an autonomous decision that we aren't going to raise season ticket prices, that Arsenal wouldn't raise their prices, that
yeah, I don't
Spurs
think that's gonna
wouldn't
work.
raise their prices, that
I don't
Man
think that would.
City wouldn't raise their
No.
prices. I
And
just don't think that's realistic.
and by the way, you mentioned something there quickly that's rather it's nothing but the truth. Uh, it's just like before the takeover, season tickets were available. It's not like
Yeah.
30 years ago we've been full of people, full of season tickets. You could buy them
You
before.
gave 10,000
Why?
away.
And why? Because nobody was interested. And now people took advantage of those 10 years because nobody wanted to be a season ticket holder. So he gave that deal out there. So it was a deal that you weren't going to get anytime. There's a reason why people signed up because it was a ludicrous.
But hang on as well, because I have got nothing but uh, thanks and admiration and gratitude to all of those season ticket holders.
Who stayed? Yeah.
No, who did chuck their tickets in because they decided, and it proved to be correct, that the only way to get Ashley out of this club
It's to
was to stop going.
yeah.
Now, the
Well,
only thing that I wish could happen, I'm I'm not talking about what the prices will be, but what I think should happen is that it cannot be beyond the wit of man to get a list
of those
of
people.
those season ticket holders who can be proven to have been season ticket holders for, let's say, 10 years before the Ashley era, and then stuck with it for the first, whatever, 5, 6, 7 years of the Ashley era, and then said enough's enough and chucked it. That there is no reason at all why there can't be a list compiled of all of those people, and all of those people should be entitled to be at the top of the queue for any season tickets that become available. Now
Yeah.
then, what happens then is that if the prices go up, and because unfortunately through financial circumstances certain people can no longer afford a season ticket, so that
Yeah.
season ticket becomes available, then that season ticket, the first people who should be able to buy that season ticket are the ones who stood with us all the way through and eventually decided, quite rightly, that the only way things were going to change was by stop and go and stop giving them money, empty stadiums,
I mean, it's a.
which is ultimately what forced them out, and is why
I,
we're in the lovely
I
position that we're in right
I
now.
I agree that that would be a lovely thing, but I think it's far fetched to be honest with you. I don't think they
And
would,
that's the trouble, and
and
that's
that's the
the
trouble.
trouble, because the
Let's.
bottom line is money talks, and if they put
Yeah,
the season ticket prices up and people can't afford them, then it's just gonna be, I don't know how they allocate new season ticket holders in new season tickets now,
yeah. Uh,
but I just think there should be if I was the Supporters Trust, I would be saying, "We need to ensure that if tickets become available because of increased prices, then the first people with access to those tickets should be those who had season tickets for a period of time up until,
mm.
uh, the 10,000 became available."
Exactly. Let's finish up with the letter real quick. And it says, additionally, many fans have already felt the pull to spend significant amounts on new merchandise since the start of the current season, from kits to accessories, with these purchases representing not just an investment in the club's success, but also a gesture of support during challenging economic times. The cumulative
Cumulative.
cumulative financial outlay of supporters is considerable. And we urge the club to recognize this when considering any future pricing decisions. Finally, with the Premier League television and commercial revenue up to 17% to 12.25 billion pounds for the 25-28 cycle, many supporters will question why they need to be out of their pocket when presented with such staggering figures. Whilst we call on Newcastle United to freeze tickets prices for the next season, we would like to take this opportunity to thank the club for pricing domestic cup tickets competitively this current season, making them more accessible to a wide range of supporters. As supporters, we are Newcastle United's greatest asset. We deserve to be treated with respect and understanding, and we believe that the club can continue to grow and thrive without placing further financial burdens on its loyal fan base. We stand ready to work alongside the club to ensure a fair and sustainable future for all supporters. Now is the time for Newcastle United to buck the trend and make a statement. The supporters are the forefront of football. It is imperative that the custodians of our great club recognize the need to protect our long-standing, unwavering support. As Jock Stein once said, football without fans is nothing. Yours sincerely, Newcastle United Supporters Club. That last phrase is nothing but the truth. Football without fans is nothing. However, they put in there, um, it is imperative that the custodians of our great club, one thing that fans need to get it in their head, PIF is not a custodian of Newcastle United. This
It
isn't Real Madrid. This isn't the Spanish league. This isn't South American River Plate, Boca Juniors. This isn't Barcelona. I don't know about Bayern Munich. PIF own Newcastle United.
Yeah, they are the current custodians.
They own. No, no, but custodian could be somebody that's taking care, like Florentino Perez is a custodian. Somebody that's taking care of the
Yeah,
club mean
custodian
somebody
is
else comes on. That's not the same.
we are currently in their charge.
You know what I mean? So we got to understand that, but also understand that fans are what make the club go. So it's a tough situation. I mean, I
If
think ticket prices are going to go up, man.
for example, just let's go stupid. Let's say Elon came along and said to PIF,
I'll buy Newcastle United.
I'll give you £4 billion for Newcastle United." So that PIF are going to walk away with 3 billion profit. That's what they would do because they're just in it for the money.
Yeah.
They're a business venture. They're in it for the money.
Quickly, let's talk about Newcastle United Supporters Trust. What are they all about? I mean, we should bring one of them to explain. To be fair, but you probably know more. A trust is a trust. So they have,
Well,
according to their page, 11,000 members in
yeah,
35 different countries. What do they do?
they're appointed by Newcastle United. They did have a ballot of sorts to decide who would be on the but ultimately the club decided who would be on the board. Uh, but again, the talk there. Additionally, many fans have already felt the pull to spend significant amounts in new merchandise. All this new merchandise.
Yeah,
This is all luxury. Nobody's forcing them to go out and buy it.
exactly.
You either decide you can't afford to pay whatever it is for whatever it is, or you can't. You can't just say, "Well, I want that, and I want to pay that for it."
I mean, ultimately,
Life doesn't work like that.
yeah, it's a tough situation to be in.
Listen, it is tough. It is tough. I understand how tough it is. I mean, I'm fortunate. I can afford a season ticket if I want. Yeah, I'm very particular how much I spend on all the merchandise. By the way,
No, you certainly are.
something's got to be very, very
And I'll be able
attractive
to.
before I'll pay for
And
before
here
I'll go and
we're
buy
talking
something.
about we're talking about a regular fan. I mean, me and Betty we in Benter all the time, but I know him very well, and he's not really spending money like crazy. You know what I mean? He's
I have
very
no money to
meticulous.
spend like crazy.
He
I'm a
he he
pensioner.
he he buys. I mean, look, he buys his food. He rations his food according to what he likes to do, and that's just one person. But I'm just saying. But he buys. He's got a season ticket. He bought one shirt in the last 20 years, which I think is rubbish anyway. You have money to buy a shirt at least every 2 3 years.
I've had this, you know, what now, 30 year nearly, still
Exactly.
wearing it.
Now, people like me, I mean, I can say also that I'm lucky. I'm lucky in life, but I mean, I bought this damn shirt. It's 109 pounds. I spent people always giving me rubbish on an X about how an American gets a ticket. Well, I'll tell you how he gets a ticket: buy platinum tickets. I mean, the situation must be bad in Newcastle in England altogether. The people can't believe you buy platinum tickets or hospitality tickets, which is even
You can't
double.
even buy a platinum ticket now. Platinum tickets now are
Uh,
changing hands for like 20 grand, you
Eh,
know?
well, yeah, no, I'm saying buy a platinum ticket is and like, know somebody that's got platinum tickets
Yeah.
and obviously pay them to not go to the game, which that's what we do. That's how American people does thing. And trust me, I paid 300 quid. Was it for 4 tickets to two games? And trust me, it hurts a little bit, but
Yeah, but again, in the greater scheme of things, that's 75 quid for a prime seat in the
yeah, yeah,
stadium.
yeah.
How much would that same seat cost at a prime sporting event in the United States?
Yeah, I
It'd
mean,
be a lot more than $75, I know.
yeah, exactly. It would be a platinum ticket would cost a lot more money, certainly. Um, so it depends on how you look at it. Look, this video here, some people are gonna take it we're insensitive to the fans. Some people will say we're right.
Not at all. I think the main thing that the football supporters trust should have been getting over to them is that if prices go up, so gradually people are priced out of being able to go to the match on a weekly basis, who gets that ticket? And to me, their priority should be making sure that it's proper, bona fide, long-term Newcastle United fans who get
Mm,
those tickets.
yeah. So it's a
Like I say,
inter-
listen, I'm the luckiest guy in the world. I've told you the story because I chucked it. I believed the only way to get Ashley out was to stop going. So I chucked it, but I'd, m- me and my son had had the same two season tickets since he was 9 years old. He's 40 now. And I decided to chuck it. But my son said, "Listen, Dad, I kind of better let this seat go. Keep because both the seats were in my name." He says, I'll keep paying for them, and I'll try and get rid of your seat on a match by match basis." He ended up he had 2 seasons, and he couldn't because he didn't he was desperate not to let go of our 2 seats because they're two of the best seats in the ground. So he kept them on. I chucked it. I wanted Ashley out, so I chucked it. He kept the two seats on, which he paid for 2 years, and he couldn't get rid of the ticket. He couldn't get any he couldn't even give them away. That's how bad things were at the time. So after another 2 years, after those 2 years, he says, "Listen, Dad," he says, "just chuck the tickets in." He says, "I'm not interested anymore. It's a waste of time." And that was when I couldn't bear to bear to give the seats up. So I then took them on. And
so
lo and behold, 3 years after that, they had the takeover.
it's
So
the
I've got
best.
I'm just the luckiest guy in the world in that respect, or I would have been locked out.
Exactly.
Uh,
Uh, yeah, no,
what can I say? But it's supply and demand and it's economics, and that they're on about they say finally with the Premier League television commercial revenue up 17% to 12.25 billion for the 25-28 cycle. Many supporters will question why they need to be out of pocket when presented with such staggering figures. Because those staggering figures, there's only one place they're going, and that's in the players' pockets. With the amount of money now that players are getting paid is
it's
is
crazy.
is is staggering. However, it's those very players who are producing the product that companies are prepared to pay £12.25 billion for.
And
It's like
unfortunately,
movie stars or pop stars.
it's as much as
It's simply basic capitalist economics
I,
at
I
work.
think there is absolutely no way that the season ticket prices are going to stay the same. They're going to go
No ch
nothing but up, and it's putting out a band-aid on a heart attack. This freezing thing,
As I say, my
it's not
my
going to help.
vision my vision is that because to me, that 12.25 billion that's currently being raised in revenue for the television rights is peanuts to what it could be. Absolute peanuts. If clubs were
Well,
allowed
did their own, yeah.
to sell their own season tickets, television season tickets, exactly as they do in America with all the major sports over there. You do away with the middleman of Sky and everybody else, and the Premier League themselves sell the thing. Now that means you're going to be able to buy for 200 quid. You'll be able to watch every single Newcastle game live on the telly, home and away. And
Hmm.
then, when that can be done legally, a lot of people, old people, infirm people, people who live way out of town, all of these people will decide, well, I can watch every game on the telly now for 200 quid. I'm not going to bother going to the stadium. And sooner or later, there will be a stage, and I've predicted this. Everybody said I was mad. There will come a time when fans will be paid to
Oh, well, never.
to
We
go
gotta,
into the
we
stadium.
gotta end. We gotta end it
Because
there. We gotta end it
because
there.
because as
No,
Jock
no, no.
Stein said, and which is quoted in the final paragraph, "Football without fans is nothing." We saw that during COVID,
Yeah, we gotta go.
where without the fans, it's nothing.
It certainly is. But we're not gonna get paid
And
never to watch
and
games.
that
That
then
ain't.
is when that's when you'll see ticket prices plummet,
Yeah.
because the actual revenue from bums on seats will pale into insignificance in comparison to the television revenue. The Premier League are missing a big trick by not controlling their own. destiny.
All right. It's been a lovely video. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, become a member if you can for more content. The new emojis are out. So we got Ambre in emoji. We got Josh is an emoji as well. I think we got Mighty Win one more emoji. You playing pool. So it'll be lovely. So use those. Don't forget to subscribe. Like I said, hit the like button. We will see you on the next one, folks. Bye bye. Highway the
How
Lads.
are the lads?